Ganyu, Hutao, and Xiao, this was the original DPS trio that completely ruled Genshin Impact during its early years, making them must-pulls for nearly every account. In fact, more than 70% of accounts created in 2021 have at least one of these three characters. That's how dominant they were. Now, with the recent kit reworks for Mondstadt units like Venti, Klee, and Mona through Arcane Synergy, the possibility of more kit updates for older characters feels stronger than ever. If we follow the latest leaks, the upcoming White Adeptus, expected to release soon, might bring a similar wave of buffs or synergy effects. Hoyoverse has already seen how positively the community responded to kit changes, so they could easily repeat this approach as a way to reignite interest among older players, bringing back veterans who want to use their favorite units again. In this video, we'll go through all the possible older characters who could receive future kit adjustments, and what specific changes or mechanics they might need to become relevant again, just like how Klee, Venti, and Mona regained their power with Durin's arrival. Before that, you can actually win a free Welkin. We're doing a 10 times Welkin giveaway for 7,000 subscribers. More info is in the description. And don't forget to check out Loot Bar. They're currently the safest and cheapest way to top up and are running a special discount right now. Just click my link in the description, select your server, enter your UID, and your Genesis crystals are delivered instantly. If you sign up now, there's an extra 10% coupon on your first purchase. Okay, coming back to the topic. As said, the kit changes are most likely to occur with the Adeptus chain, including Ganyu, Xiao, Zhongli, Xianyun, and Yanfei, who are direct Adepti, and units like Shenhe, who is a disciple of Xianyun, Qi, who was revived by Adepti power, or even Hutao, who is connected to the Adepti, are possible characters that could get kit changes with the release of the White Adeptus. Starting with the main focus, Zhongli, who's also known for his shield, has become less and less significant over time as newer units like Lanyan and Citlali have arrived. Especially Lanyan, who honestly replaced him in many teams due to being an Animo unit that provides 40% resistance shred and can hold TTDS, making her a much better option. Seeing Zhongli's kit, it's one of the simplest, with his pillar that applies off-field geo damage, provides continuous crystallize, and 20% universal resistance shred, which still keeps him alive in some setups. This could be buffed further with conditions similar to Arcane Synergy, providing extra resistance shred to make him more competitive with Lanyan. Even his current kit, which technically offers no personal damage and a burst that is practically useless in the current meta, could be adjusted to provide some debuffs or damage bonuses similar to Xilonin. Some community suggestions include adding defense reduction for enemies hit by the petrified effect, or increasing its duration. Both could help bring him back to the meta. As said, he's an Archon, which will get multiple reruns with solo banners, so these kinds of kit improvements could easily make him much more viable again. We're also leaked to get a signature weapon for Venti, since he's no longer just a support and is shifting towards a DPS playstyle. We can't ignore how useless Zhongli's weapon is for him. It's arguably the worst signature weapon ever, even worse than Furina's. A new weapon providing team-wide buffs, similar to Xilonin's weapon, would make a massive difference. There's no doubt he has one of the most loyal fan bases, and changes like these could truly bring him back. The next unit that deserves buffs has to be Ganyu. Being one of the most owned DPS units for early players, she has always been one of the most loved characters. However, she's now restricted to off-field cryo application due to her lower damage compared to modern meta units and her aimed shot gameplay, which was never very popular among players. Kit changes like faster charge shot loading, guaranteed hits, or improved AoE could make her far more enjoyable and effective. Her elemental skill, which only serves as cryo application and a taunt, could be reworked into something more useful. Ganyu was originally known as a reverse melt carry, unlike Ayaka, who focuses on freeze setups. This could be another opportunity to give cryo a more versatile unit beyond freeze compositions. Let me know what changes you'd like to see for Ganyu. Talking about DPS, we can't overlook Xiao, who ruled as the best Animo DPS for years and is still one of the most popular fan favorite units, though his value has fallen off recently. New units like Chaska offering new approaches to animo damage, and even buffs to Venti making him a stronger DPS have all contributed to Xiao's decline. Even characters like Varesa or Shen Yun, who can enable any unit to plunge, made Xiao seem ordinary. But it was never like this. And kit changes like higher multipliers and fixes to his long-standing energy issues, one of his main weaknesses, could bring him back. He's also infamous for having some of the most useless constellations in the game, like C4, which could be reworked. Some community suggestions include giving him extra damage against single targets to make him more reliable in the current Abyss structure. Talking about other units, like Chi-Chi, who's known to be the best cryo DPS, units like Shenhe are another case. Her value fell with the decline of cryo, and even after Skirk, she only became somewhat viable, but nowhere close to Sitlali or Escoffier. Kit changes like higher damage bonuses or longer buff durations could make her much more reliable again. Let me know what changes you'd like to see for her too. Coming to 4-star units, Yanfei, one of the most played early-game Pyro DPS characters, is no longer viable. Seeing the recent buffs to Razor, Yanfei deserves something similar: more damage scaling through constellations and a smoother, more beginner-friendly playstyle without her current complex combos. As we saw with Klee, such kit adjustments could easily make Yanfei a strong and fun unit again. But remember, we're just doing some speculation and discussing potential changes. None of these are confirmed yet. However, if the pattern continues, it's very possible that Hoyoverse might explore these directions in the near future. Coming to other characters outside the Adeptus circle, we have Ningguang, a character with one of the richest and most fascinating pieces of lore in Genshin Impact. She represents the brilliance and pride of Liyue, yet she's been almost forgotten over time due to her outdated and underwhelming kit. Despite being one of the first geo-catalysts and a major lore figure, she doesn't have proper synergy with any of the current meta teams. In fact, most of her existing teams are barely usable anymore, since her skill and burst lack flexibility, and her geo-constructs often disrupt newer characters' mechanics instead of enhancing them. Kit reworks for Ningguang could fix all of this. Ideas like granting her a stronger geo damage bonus while her Jade screen is active, or adding a follow-up damage burst when her screen shatters, could give her a new identity as a hybrid support DPS. Another interesting idea is to make her screen generate a short-lasting debuff on enemies hit, reducing their resistance or even amplifying geo-resonance effects. With buffs like these, she could become a core member in mono-geo setups once again. Recently, we've seen Genshin take big steps, like adding free constellations and reworking old kits, breaking their old patterns and moving toward a new direction. Kit updates for these units, or even for Inazuma characters, could bring a fresh appeal for returning players and veterans alike. As said before, most 5-star constellations like Xiao, Ganyu, and Shenhe are already free to obtain, and with proper kit changes or constellation reworks, their value could become even higher, giving players more motivation to complete those missions and collect their constellations. Let me know in the comments what kind of changes you would like to see, and don't forget to participate in the giveaway. See you till then!